congratulations on your brand new Genesis Gv80 3.5T Prestige Edition. I just want to give you a quick tutorial on how to use this vehicle. Alright, Mr. Mulligan, after stepping into your vehicle, what I'm going to show you is how to set up for the radio. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my foot on the brake and press the start button over here. As you can see, the car has already started, and we'll just go ahead, close the door over here, and we'll use the touch screen over here to confirm, and we can easily swipe to the left over here. Now we can also use the touchscreen, or as well as over down here we have this knob. We can just scroll it around. First thing we're going to set up is for the radio. So we'll go back home and we'll go to radio, which is on the main screen. And with this scroll I can bring down the volume, and at any time I can just push in and that will turn off the entire system. Okay, now I'll push it in again. I can get the system back up. Okay, get the volume here, scrolling up and down. Okay, so we'll go back to the radio, and it's very easy to set up your favorites. So we can just tune into the channel that you like by pressing the left or the right. It'll self-detect, and we can press the start button to make it your favorites. Now let's say if I have other favorites, let's go 104.5. 104.9, and I can press this favorites, and over here on the left I could just switch between back and forth, whichever ones I like. Now we can also switch to AM over here by pressing the FM. We can switch to AM or Sirius XM, and likewise we also have a favorites button down here for the start. Turn the music down a bit, and we can also make this our favorites here, and it is also capable of recording up to 60 minutes. Alright, in this next segment I'm just going to go through how to set up for Bluetooth phone calling and also Bluetooth music. So over here on our main screen we can see phone. We'll press this down, and we can also add new. We'll just press on that, and all we need to do is look for the Bluetooth in your phone and just click the Gv80 that's shown on your phone to add the device. So in this segment I would have already set up your home address and work address, but if you do want to change it at any time, you're more than welcome to go to the navigations menu over here. So we'll go into that, and over here we'll scroll down to the saved places, and over here as you can see we have home, work, or any other favorites. In this example I'll go to the work and I'll search, and that should bring up this big menu over here, and I can always go put in the our work address here just for the sake of demonstration. Okay, 2395 Boundary Road, Vancouver, that's us, and we'll save that to our work address here. Alright, Mr. Mulligan, just want to show you the instrument cluster over here. As you can see, it is in 3D. So over here on my steering wheel there is this menu button, so you can toggle what to display on the middle section of this instrumental cluster. And if I bring my camera over down here to the just right beside the gear shift, there is the terrain and drive mode. So I'm just gonna turn that, and whenever I do that we can switch between different drive modes, or if I can push down for different terrain modes. And I'll bring the camera back up here just to show you. We can switch between eco, comfort, sport, and if I push it down we can switch to terrain. All we need to do is turn the knob for snow, and we can leave it there for snow mode. So very quickly I just want to show you what all these buttons do on your steering wheel. First of all, we have the voice command over here. You can press this at any time. Once you're hooked up to your cell phone, you can do commands like find the nearest McDonald's, or call your friend Sammy or Sandy. And over here, this is the phone button. Once you're connected to your Bluetooth phone, when you press this button, it should bring up all the recent calls on the main screen over here. And let's come back up here. We just have different modes, and that is toggle between your different sources of audio. And if you look at the main screen over here, it will show Bluetooth, phone projection, sound nature, and this is up to your personal preference. You can select how many boxes you want to toggle between them. And of course, we have this very interesting start button here. This is just a favorite custom button. It can be anything you want, and again, I'll come back to the main screen. As you can see, it will show reject calls, change hands-free devices, and this is only for one option. Now, at any time you don't like what this button does, all you need to do is hold down that button again, and this list should come back up. And over here, we do have the volume control while you're driving, and the last and the next song over here. Over here, we just have the cruise control button. Now, very interestingly, this is the lane keeping assist button. Now, once I click this, if we go back to the instrumental cluster on the top right hand corner, just around 10 o'clock to the 7 on the gauge, you will see this gray steering wheel. So if it's showing gray, that means the system is on. And if you're driving and the camera that's built into this car sees 2 white lines, that will display green. And that means this car will try to keep itself between the 2 white lines. Okay. And over here, we do have the cruise control. Anytime you're driving more than 30 kilometers an hour, we can press this to turn on the system. And with this is something called the smart follow. We can press this to set the speed that you want to cruise at. And by pressing multiple times, you could toggle the distance you want to keep between you and the vehicle in front of you. And this is just a quick tutorial to show you what these buttons do. And as we come down here to the center console, what you'll see is there's the auto hold button. So once you press this, it will turn on the auto hold system. As you can see on the left hand corner, just below the beside the 8 degrees Celsius. What this means is when you're driving and you come to a complete stop at a red light, that auto hold will then turn green, holding the brake for your convenience. That way your right foot could take a rest. And as soon as you put your foot on the pedal, the brake will release and you can go. So that's one of the key features I want to quickly show you. So here's the quick center console quick tutorial. Of course, we got mechanical buttons, which is amazing. We have auto climate control. We can control the temperature at any time over here. Right now I have it on sync, so it will use the main driver's temperature as the main temperature over here. At any time we could do 2-zone climate control just by turning the knob on the right hand side. We could always turn it off with the off over here. This is the front defroster, and we have the rear defroster on the right hand side. And as you can see over here, your vehicle is capable of cooling seats. We can just toggle it, and heated seats. And we have heated steering wheel, AC, and also for the passenger side. At any time, you should be able to press the rear over here and also turn on the heated seats or cooling seats for the back. And over here, this vehicle is capable of manual air volume, so you should be able to adjust that freely. And as you press on the screen, there's also haptic, so it should also give you a feedback, a sense of you're pressing a button and not just a plain glass. And very quickly, let's go over to the setup over here. And whenever you want to set up anything on the vehicle, we could press the setup. And if it's anything related to the vehicle, we could just press on the vehicle. We can look at driver assistance, drive mode, active sound design. Active sound design is really just pumping more engine sound or makeup engine sound into the cabin, so you feel more of a sporty drive. We have the heads-up display over here. If I press down on the knob or just press on the screen, we can scroll down to the display adjustment control, and over here you can adjust the height, the rotation, the brightness. And let's come back to the content selection. Over here we can select what you would like to see on the heads-up display. We can display turn by turn, and the cruise control, blind spot safety information, radio or media info, Very quickly, let's look at the heads-up display over here. Let's see if I can zoom in. That's the kind of view you would see if you were sitting right here. So on your left hand side, you would have the left mirror adjustment, the right mirror adjustments. Using these arrows, you can adjust the direction of your mirrors. Pressing it down would fold the mirrors, but of course, once you lock the vehicle, the mirror should just self-fold. We have the lock and unlock buttons, the windows, and of course we have the child lock. And over here on the left hand side, we should be able to see the set memory seats here, set 1 and 2. So in order to set your memory seats, what you want to do is not start the engine, but having just one key in the cabin and press twice so the power comes on. After adjusting your seats, what you want to do is just make sure you press the set 1, and that way it will remember as setting seat 1. Alright, over here, this is just on the ceiling of your cabin. Over here we have the sunglass holder, of course. We have the reading light on the left, reading light on the right, and then of course we have all the lights. And most importantly, this is the button. You'll want to make sure you turn it on. So when this button is turned on, when the doors are open, it would turn on the cabin lights. Over here we have the roadside assistance and the SOS button. Of course, this, when you pull it, it should open the visor to the sunroof over here. If you just push it forward, it will close. And at any time you can also push it in, which will give you a crack of air. And we can just push it forward to close everything again. So over here we have the rear view mirror, and you see 3 buttons here at the bottom. This is for the garage door. In order to reset the garage door, what you want to do is press 1 and 3 at the same time and hold it for around 10 to 15 seconds until this orange light will blink to reset any saved garage door frequencies. So it's doing that. And we should be good. Now, in order to set up your home link or your garage door, you will just want to make sure that you hold down number 1, and also at the same time holding down your garage door key fob so it can copy the signals over. On some generations or different models of the garage door, you might need to go to the garage door box or the motor and press on the learn. And once you press the learn from your garage door motor, you want to come back here and hold this down so it will beam the signal to your box and learn that this is also a garage door key fob within your Genesis over here. So depending on what kind of phone you have, in here you'll find the wireless phone charger right here on this panel over here, as you can see. And over here we'll have this phone charging key light indicator over here. And if you have Apple, you'll have Apple CarPlay. You'll need a cable to plug into the left cable over here, and the right side is just mainly for phone charging. Now, in order to use this wireless phone charger, what you'll want to do is set your phone flat to this surface, and make sure your phone case is not too thick, and at the same time making sure all the doors are closed in order for this to function. So very quickly, this car just comes with something called a smart trunk, and what we'll do is we'll scroll to the setup and we'll go to vehicle, and we'll scroll down to the door and lift gate, and over here I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see. We can adjust the height of your trunk, level 3, level 2, level 1, which is really minimum openings. So we could adjust that over here. And let's go back to the previous menu here. We can scroll down to this box that says smart trunk. So unlike some other brands where you have to kick under the trunk in order to open the trunk, with Genesis, all you need to do is keep the key in your pockets. As you come up to the car that is locked, and maybe you have groceries, it will beep 4 times before opening the trunk. And anytime if you don't want to open the trunk, after 2 beeps, you can simply walk away. So while you have your key in your pocket, we'll come up to the rear of the trunk. As we stand over here, you should see that it will blink for 4 times before opening the trunk itself. And over here is a quick overview of the trunk. As we look on the left, we have power seats fold down for the second row. As you can see, the seats are going down. And at the same time, we can just press it again to stop it, and once more to bring the seats back up. Of course, we do have this cargo cover. We can just pull on it to remove this at any time. And we'll put it right back. And underneath, this vehicle does not come with spare tires. However, we can pull on this cover over here, and of course on the right hand side, and we can remove this trunk cover to place store down here so it does not go missing. So here we are, we're just right back outside. Now, because your Genesis Gv80 is fully loaded, I just want to go through one of the features that this car has. As you can see on my Genesis key over here, we have the lock, unlock, and also we have the remote start on the right hand side. So what we want to do is we can lock the car and we'll hold down the remote start, and that will start the vehicle. And very interestingly, there's 2 buttons over here, which we call the remote buttons. We can move the car forward by pressing the forward button at any time. Now, because this vehicle is equipped with sensors around the vehicle, as long as the sensors can sense anything, it would not bump into an object or a person. And likewise, we can bring the car back, and you can feel free to let go of the key, the button, at any time to stop this vehicle. And this is a quick demonstration of how the remote key button works. And by pressing that again, we can shut the car off, and I like to press the lock to make sure the car is locked. So very quickly, I just want to show you that this car is capable of self-parking. So what we'll need to do is first we'll turn to the drive by scrolling to the right, and over here this car is capable of 360 camera by pressing that, and if you hold it down while we drive, it will be trying to search for a parking space. So what we'll want to do is we'll keep to the side that we want to park and drive really slow. That way the parking sensors on the car will try to search out for a parking space. Now let's say I don't want to park there, I want to try and keep moving to find the next parking space, hopefully between these 2 vehicles over here. Yeah, and that's the parking space I want to park. I'll select how I want to park it. Now there's 2 ways of parking this car. You can put it in P and then get out of the vehicle and use the remote key like I just demonstrated, or you can sit in the car with smart parking by pressing down that 360 camera button. So that's what I've selected, and I'm just going to take my hands off the steering wheel and press and hold the parking view button. As you can see, my foot is off the brake, and the steering wheel will try to make its own adjustments and parking calculations. So the car will try its best to park evenly between the 2 vehicles, as you can see. And the parking has now completed.